Now, we've done many, many innovations, and as you can see, this is another data-rich, AI-rich area for us to make troubleshooting effective. And to give you some more insights into some of the new capabilities that we've brought to ZDX, I'd like to bring back Dhawal Sharma, our VP GM for product management.
All right, good morning. So we're going to talk about user experience now. Amit talked about us unifying the monitoring silos, 3 variables that impact end user, right? Their device, network, application. But this can create a lot of noise, right? And these tools are distributed amongst different people in the organization. You think about your IT ops, network ops, security ops. So what we are trying to do is bring the unification as a product. It pretty much focuses on what is the problem, where is the problem. A human analyst looks at that data and figures out why that problem is happening. What we are trying to do now with the ML engine that we are rolling out is to automate the why part. So we internally call it why engine, but it is exactly telling you why something went wrong. Let's take a look at an example. So in order to showcase the power of this platform, I thought I'll give you a real-world scenario where you have an executive who's traveling from, let's say, Australia to US East Coast. And first thing that executive will do is get on a Teams call, talk to his peers, and try to run an executive call. But what happens is executive becomes unhappy when he's not able to share his video. He's getting a lot of jitter on the voice call, opens a ticket. Let's take a look at what do we see from ZDX perspective. Now, when you look at ZDX, first thing you will notice is that user experience is bad. Amit talked about us benchmarking the user experience. We compute a score, which we call a ZDX score, which is applicable for every single user in your organization. We roll up the score at an application level, at a tenant level, at a customer level, then across all our customers as well. So you understand whether it is a user-specific problem, broader problem. And in this case, you can see uniformly the experience is bad for this user. What we are introducing is this ML engine where you can click on a button, and it shows you why that problem is happening. But before we look at that, I thought I'll show you when a human analyst is looking at that data, how do they analyze this data? So if the ticket is open, a service desk technician is going to look at that data. And you can clearly see by analyzing the network path, we look at the network path from every single user's device all the way to the destination. Typically, network monitoring tools do this from certain vantage point, from your branch, data center. But we are flipping this equation by looking at it from device, including Wi-Fi issues, egress ISP issues. In this case, you see the user is coming from Florida, probably a hotel. And there is a lot of latency in the data path from the first mile ISP, and you can see hop-by-hop analysis as well. Now, you can also see the data that we are getting by integrating with Microsoft Teams call quality metrics. This data is already there in your Teams tenant, but contextualizing it with the user, with the inline probing we are doing makes it more effective. You can clearly see there's high video latency, there is jitter, and this is probably triggered due to the high network latency that we saw. Now let's take a look at what the ML engine is going to do in this scenario. In this case, a human analyst, when they were looking at this data, it could be a level 1, level 2 technician who might not know how to analyze complex network data. What we are doing is they can actually just click on this Analyze Score button, and immediately we will show you why that score was bad. It will just give you a full context of it was a high egress latency to Zscaler, and there was high access point latency. So based on that, you can create automated workflows and route the ticket to the right people, so it brings down mean time to detection, mean time to resolution for you. Not only that, you can also turn on the comparison mode that we're going to introduce pretty soon. You know, those of you who work in networks, you know, when things are bad, you want to compare when they were okay, what did actually change in terms of the user experience. So you can see the network path, what was different when things were good compared to when they went wrong, and you can do the side-by-side analysis as well. So it gives you a good idea what changed, and you can act on it faster. Next, another innovation that we are introducing is the concept of ISP Insights. In this case, you clearly see our ML engine is saying it was due to an ISP issue. When that happens, the ISP Insights gets enabled in this in the product. When you click on this button, What it will do is it will give you the health of the internet from ZDX perspective. So it's a public website that we are introducing and launching now. You can go to this URL, and you can see through the lens of ZDX, we are monitoring millions of users, and we can see which ISP is having problem in what part of the world. Is it a macro problem? Is it a geo problem? Is it a global problem? And then you can also see how does that ISP outage impact your users within your tenant as well. So you will be able to click and see that ISP outage, who is it impacting within my organization. Now, coming back to our user, Alfie, who was on the US East Coast, you can see that he was one of the users who was impacted due to this AT&T problem. Now, when we click on this user, first thing that user might have done is open a ticket. And now, we work with a lot of customers. You might be using different ITSM tools, but we see ServiceNow is pretty popular with our customers. So we are also introducing our deeper integration with ServiceNow as an ITSM workflow tool. We have introduced an app on the ServiceNow App Store. You can enable ZDX tenant to talk to the ServiceNow App Store. Now, you might have multiple service desk technicians who might not even have access to ZDX. One thing which we are doing, as you can see, the ticket from the user is sitting in the ServiceNow queue. What we are doing now is we are introducing an even deeper integration with ServiceNow, which we call as deep tracing integration. Deep tracing is a very unique capability in ZDX today, where you can initiate a remote troubleshooting on user's device from ZDX console. Now, those of service desk technicians who do not have access to ZDX would be able to initiate deep tracing or remote troubleshooting from the ServiceNow console without logging into ZDX as well. They can initiate this to get minute-by-minute context of what's happening on user's device. In future, they will be able to do things like initiate remote packet capture on the device, initiate bandwidth test on the user device. And the output of that deep tracing session, you can run it for 60 minutes, for a few hours, automatically get appended here. Someone with the right level of authorization can go and see the minute-by-minute view of what is going on there. So it makes it very, very easy and powerful for your service desk to look at what is going wrong, escalate the tickets if required, or remediate the issues immediately. Another innovation that team has been working on for a while, and this is 100% customer-driven. They told us, we want you to get deeper insights into the health of our devices. So we have recently introduced full device, software, and process-level inventory of the user's device as well. Because user's device is one of the key variables that we have seen, especially during pandemic. The two key variables that we saw were like users' device issues, their home Wi-Fi issues. So we are bringing additional telemetry in this scenario as well. Now, in this case, we are building a full device inventory. That's the view we are showing you here. You can see what is the make and model of different hardware devices that your employees are using. You can see the similar view for the software inventory as well. In this case, what we are doing is we are seeing this user, Alfie, who opened the ticket. You want to make sure he's an executive on the road, and this user's device is healthy, right? So we clearly see the device make, model, what is the overall device footprint, does it have the right hardware, what kind of network it is connected to, what software is installed on this user's computer. So we can see the full list of all the software and the underlying processes that run on that user's device. Not only that, many a times, in today's world, as you consume SaaS services which have clients, those clients update on their own pretty often, right? How many times you have heard that a faulty update caused user experience problems, right? So we actually track the full history of the software upgrade on the user's computer. In this case, for example, for Microsoft Teams, we can say, when did it update last time? And also what we are doing behind the scene is what we are saying, when all of your employees' laptops updated with the latest version of Teams, did it cause any undue impact on the user experience? So aggregating that impact of a faulty update, for example, on the user experience. Not only that, then we also give you full process-by-process level monitoring as well. A given piece of software might have multiple processes running on it. Our own client has about 3 or 4 processes running on it. One thing which everyone has asked me when I've spoken to you is, what is the impact of your client on our device? when you are enabling so many capabilities, ZIA, ZPA, ZDX, we have deception coming. So we are very transparent with it. We try to keep that footprint very, very small. We don't do any heavy processing on the client. So we will also tell you what is the impact of Zscaler client processes on your device as well as part of this. So you can clearly see, in this case, Microsoft Teams package, what is the CPU memory utilization of that on the device. You can also see, do a one-click further drill down on this, and you can see a heat map of the impact of that process, or any process which is consuming more than X amount of CPU or memory on the device, and see a heat map of are there times in the day or times in an hour when it is causing the spikes, and then act upon it. So to summarize, we looked at 4 key innovations today. One is our ML-based bad score analyzer, making the analysis of bad score much easier compared to a human analyst looking at it and figuring out, bringing down mean time to detection and resolution. Second, we looked at ISP Insights. It's a global service we are enabling on our website, but also tying that into your tenant and telling you which of your users are impacted due to it. Service desk integration, really important, making sure you have full workflow of who is impacted, and then giving you deep insights into how a user who has been impacted and getting details from their device through live troubleshooting embedded within ServiceNow. And finally, full device insights on the user's device. We have a lot of interesting breakout sessions. There's a separate track for ZDX around user experience. 4 of them happened yesterday, 4 of them are happening today, but a lot of us, our experts, are here in the Genius Bar or during the breakout session. Please stop by and we can answer any questions for you. With that, I'll pass it back to Amit to conclude the session.